Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, July 13th. On the impact map, these areas in purple are areas where near record heat will be building across southern areas today and expanding further westwards and northwards as we go through Friday and Saturday. Temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above normal. When you factor in that we are at the hottest time of year, that is typically some of the hottest temperatures we could see in the summer. Also, this dashed line, critical fuels south of this. Most of the fuels are critical for large fire growth if we get ignitions and some wind. Further north, it's kind of a mixed, patchy bag. And then when you get into the far northern mountains, still not critical in those areas. We had no precipitation of significance, no lightning. We did have some new starts here in the red, including a couple of hundred acres up here in the Boise BLM district. New starts up here even in the higher terrain, but they stayed pretty small as to be expected. It's been a dry 2 weeks. You can see on the left here, these light blues are just a couple of hundredths of an inch, and you factor in that's over a 14-day period. That's basically nothing, and even that is sometimes an overestimate. This is kind of more radar derived. Percent of normal near zero, where you see the dark red. The severe fire danger mapping system, a combination of ERC and burning index. The yellow is high. The patches of orange that we see here in parts of central and southern Utah are very high, and a broad area of high here across the Snake River Plain. But you can see the higher terrain of Idaho and western Wyoming still in the low stage, as are the Uintas. Look at some of our fuels. We'll focus a bit further north. So looking at Elko area, West Elko, you can see that their fuels have risen, their ERCs have gone above normal and are on a steady trajectory upwards. Same for Southwest Idaho, where they had that fire. They are above normal, also a very rapid rise upwards. And even up on the Salmon Chalice, approaching normal. Now, normally you don't get much large fire activity in early to mid-July. To wait a little bit longer towards the end of July, but again, that rise. And the worrisome thing here is near record heat is expected over the next 3 to 4 days to build across the area. So these indices will continue to rise. The water vapor imagery, this shows the air mass of extremely dry, bone dry humidities here from the orange to the dark copper shades. The main storm track with higher humidity staying further up north, and also somewhat of a weakly developing monsoon to the south, but still not fully organized. So for today, there's that dry air mass that we show in the water vapor covering much of the southern central areas. And there's high pressure that's going to bring the record heat underneath it. You can see our PSA is a mix of browns, yellows, some greens up in the higher elevations up in the north. You see the dry humidities here, single digits to low teens in the south, upper teens to low 20s in the north. Wind's not that significant, a little breezy up here in the Snake River Plain, especially eastern areas, also in Wyoming, also in the lee of the Wasatch. Now for tomorrow, the high pressure starts building further north and westwards. That's underneath this line here. This is where the heat's going to be at its best. You see the 7-day on the right. We don't see significant winds with that. Locally breezy in parts of the Snake River Plain, into parts of Utah. Again, those very dry humidities you can see here on the right-hand side. That heat starts not just building northwards, but spreads back eastwards a little bit on Sunday. We're in that hot, dry air mass. A little bit more brown on the map now in terms of our 7-day outlook. A little bit more yellow in the northern areas. Light winds on the left. So wind's not really a concern, but those dry humidity, single digits, 3-4% in the south, and even 10 to 12% in some northern areas. Again, for drying out. And look at the temperatures. This is the highs today. You can see Reno 95, and look at them on Saturday, 107, 114 in Vegas, 100 in Boise. So all those temperatures, especially in the western Great Basin, jump up significantly. Not much of a change in parts of Utah. So it's mostly Nevada and western half of Idaho where we'll see this big temperature jump. No significant precip for us in the 3-day period, and going further down the road, the heat really builds on Sunday. But another thing, a push of moisture and a weak upper level disturbance is going to start triggering off some late day and overnight thunderstorms Sunday into Sunday night into Monday morning. Something we'll have to watch and see as these fuels continue to dry. We haven't issued high risk just yet. As we go into Monday, There we go with the expanding line of showers and thunderstorms. These will be rather fast moving, so I don't think we'll see too much wetting rain. A little concerned with the lightning. Fortunately, fuels up in the north not as critical, but we'll have to watch it with the possibility of breezy, dry conditions following this lightning on Tuesday and into Wednesday. The heat builds again. As we go into the 7-day totals, you can see any precipitation that we get out of this is minimal to none. There is a bit of a monsoon push starting to get into southern Arizona by the end of the 7-day period, and the 8 to 14 day does show a bit of a monsoonal push further northwards towards the Grand Canyon and a bit probably getting into southern and southeastern Utah, but we stay hot and dry elsewhere. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.